What's going on today, everybody? I hope you're having a fantastic day. I know I'm having an amazing day. And today I'm actually going to be working on the work truck. So I've had a problem, not a problem, but a minor irritant when I'm backing up stuff. There's so little that you can see with the boxes that I'm going to go ahead and try to put a rear view camera on. Now, I didn't want to have an external monitor or some other monitor just kind of hanging out in the cab, so I found this thing online where it's actually, it'll replace the rear view mirror. So I thought I'd give it a try. It's just shy of $100, I think, but it'll go sit over the rear view mirror, and we'll hook a camera up to the back of the truck, and hopefully I have enough cable because it's a long truck, but then hook that cable up to a camera in the back, and then whenever you hit the reverse, that camera will come on and it will take up the rear view mirror. So hopefully that'll work for me. I got faith in it. It's gonna do great. So without further ado, I was gonna just throw this on here, but I thought I'd make a video because why not? So here it is. It's a Togaurd front dash camera, streaming video rear viewer. There's some cool stuff about it. It's 10-inch LCD, front and back recording, loop recording, touchscreen, wide angle. There's the part number for it. And with this, I don't want to have it just hanging out in the cigarette lighter, because to power this, it has a cigarette lighter thing. So I went ahead and I've got these jumper cables. These jumpers are sweet because they'll actually sit in a fuse. So you'll get power to a fuse like your radio. Your radio is not on all the time. It turns on with the car. So you put this in the radio one, and it will add a second circuit as well as protect the original circuit. So we'll go ahead and throw one of these in, probably on the radio, and hook the camera up to it. So that way, when the camera, or when the truck's on, it'll have power, and when it's off, it won't have power. So there we go. And then whenever, I think there should be a cable for this that we're gonna have to tap into the rear light. So the rear reverse light, you know, the white light that turns on when you put in reverse, we'll have to tap into that to send signal for this to turn on. So we'll go ahead and we'll actually open this thing up, and I kind of got halfway into it and thought we'll open it together. So go ahead, we'll open this thing all up, see if we can get it out of here. It's got a really good seal on that. So, there we go. So there's the mirror bit of it, and this will just strap over our existing mirror. And then we've got a bunch of cables. Looks like we've got some bungees to hold it on. Here's our rear view camera. We got to figure out which way's up. I'm assuming that that way's up. Got a couple things. And then here's the power. And this is a... Okay, cool. So we will go ahead and put this stuff in the car. Which one should we do first? We probably should do this first to make sure that all of our wiring fits. So we'll get this guy on there and go check it out. So here's the actual mirror itself. And it's got a little protective coating thing on it, so we'll leave that on. But this is the back side of it, and it's got a camera where we can point it kind of wherever we need to. If we need to get around the other mirror, we can get around it. And then some bungees, it looks like. This is where the bungees hook onto. Couple ports on the top. We've got our power, SD card, camera in. There's a button on the bottom. So we'll go ahead, get this... We'll actually start on this rear view camera. We'll start on the rear camera and work our way forward. Well, it's starting to look like it's supposed to be there. Not in love with this thing. This has to be out because that's the frontward facing camera. And it also looks a little bit on the janky side. As far as it's just kind of hanging out there. But if it works, sweet. If not, okay. we can hold this button and it'll turn on. Look at that. So that's what it saw last. I don't have an SD card in there. So, oh, that's front facing camera. So that's what the front sees. That's kind of cool because my finger's right there. Look at that. Apparently I need an SD card for this thing. We'll hook up the rear view camera. I'm hoping I have enough cable. It's not looking very promising, but fingers crossed it'll work. It'll work. Well, we got the rear camera portion of it installed. Everything's looking good except for the wire ended right here. So I can't plug it in. The truck's too long. So I'm gonna have to get an extension cable to make that a little bit longer because I've tucked it, and I've tucked it pretty good down around the back, and you can see where it comes out of the cab and then down around the frame. It follows the frame to the back of the truck. Well, it looks good, but I just can't plug it in. It's not gonna work. There's not enough cable, so I gotta get some more cable and we will hopefully have this dialed in. So last weekend I actually got the parts to finish installing this mirror. I reran the wires. They were sitting, or it ended right here. I ran it around the front window and then actually up to the mirror itself. So that finished the actual camera install, and I really like it. First of all, I really do like the way that it's set up. The two things that I did wrong, yeah, I just did it wrong. So I cut the end off thinking, oh, it'll be 12 volt, it'll be fine. It's not a 12 volt system. It is actually a 5 volt system, so it needs that 5 volt output. Now, cutting it off, luckily it kind of worked out for me because I have a USB that I always have plugged in for my phone. It has 2 ports on it. One of them's for my phone, the other one was an extra. So now I know where I gotta put an extra. So I made up a USB adapter for it that went to 5 volt, and it's powering the unit. And this powers it even when the key is off, so it still keeps its battery. That being said, it has an onboard battery, so it will last a while recording by itself. The other thing is I had the rear view, the red cable hooked up to the reverse, so it'd come on with the reverse, and I've taken it off. During the day, it makes it really, really hard to see when you're backing up because you have the mirror as well as the video, and they kind of mesh, and it doesn't go quite bright enough or block out enough sun. So what I've actually done is I've made it to where it's a mirror, and when I want to, I just tap on it, and it turns the rear view camera on. That way, if I want it, I can have it. If I don't want it, I don't have to tap on it. It's a minor inconvenience, but I like it more because a lot of my driving is during the day. Now at night, I definitely like having the camera. The camera works out great at night. It's just the daytime when the screen doesn't quite overpower the reflection that I was having a little bit of problems. So we'll go through a couple things. I'll show you what I use most on it, and yeah. So right now the unit it's on. It's always on, and it's always recording in the background. And say if I want to start backing up, I'd go ahead and throw it in reverse, and if you have the red wire connected, it will actually pop up. But since I don't have it connected, it won't pop up. But I can go ahead and just tap on it, and it gives me my camera. And I have it set to where it's gonna be there for 1 minute, and then it goes away. So it goes to a sleep timer. And I don't love the rear camera because you can kind of tell that it's washed out. Like, that's actually a red vehicle right over there. And it's blue on here. So it's kind of, I don't know, you can see it's flickering. I don't know why it's flickering. I don't know if it's the cable I have or if it's the actual camera or what it is, but I've had some problems with the color washout. that doesn't really affect anything because I still get the picture. I get the gist of what's going on. And then we can go ahead, I think it's this way, we can swipe and change our views. Now this is seeing forward. Don't really know, I mean, I get it for crashes. I probably won't ever use it, but the main one I wanted was this backup camera. There's the front, that's what we're seeing out the front of the window. You can see the pencils kind of hanging out right there. There's the pen or pens. And you can see the front of the truck, and you can change. The coolest part about it is you can change your field of view, so you can go up and down. The one I like the most is the backup camera. We can actually look down and see our trailer hitch. So we're backing up to a trailer, it makes it way easier. We just pull it up and make it work. I really don't know why it's flickering. Maybe if we turn it off, turn it back on. There, now that truck's red. Interesting. It seemed to fix itself. So, there's a little couple quirky things. You can, I think this side up and down is your brightness. You can change your brightness, which is really cool. Max brightness usually works the best for the day. And then you swipe, I think this way, yeah, you can change all your views, see what everything is looking at. And then if you swipe back, you can actually look at your files and go through and replay files if you need to replay files. And it will show you kind of what's going on. It's been sitting here for days, so I've got a lot of rain, it looks like, and nothing else. So that's kind of cool. You could also change it to the rear, if it'll go. We can go to the rear and see everything that happened behind us. So that's cool. And yeah, you can look at your locked stuff. There's only one that looks like it's locked, hanging out right there. And you can go through all the files. We don't need any of those, actually. There we go. We deleted all of them. So that's the best part of it so far that I've actually been enjoying. So if you notice when it's flickering, if I turn it on, if it's flickering, it's actually because of my hokey job right down here. If I wiggle my wire, it kind of messes with the camera, the power source. So that's what's causing the wiggling. If you guys don't cut your end off, you won't have that problem. So if I'm just messing with the power going to it, and it makes it all freak out. If I leave it alone, sometimes it's fine. If I quit playing with it, there we go. So the flickering, completely avoidable if you don't cut the end off, like me. I accidentally cut it off. Well, not accidentally, I did it fully on purpose because I didn't want to have a cigarette lighter taken up. I wanted to have this free because I do like to take this out from time to time, but now it's gonna be in there. So, but it's nice. It says it has the little red dot up here for when it's recording. If you want to, you can go ahead and tell it to lock it, or it has a couple other features where you can turn the mic on and go into the settings, check out all the settings on. You can turn, the big thing is turn the boot sound off. You can turn your G sensor on for when you're parked. Yeah, there's lots of cool stuff you can do. So another feature that I use a lot is the actual power button on the bottom. So you can long press it to turn it on and off, but since I don't have the reverse camera set up, I can go ahead and I tap it, I see what I'm doing, I back up, I do whatever. If I need it to go away, I can just go ahead and tap this and it will go blank and it goes right into the screensaver. So that's the best part that I like about this, is I can get the camera up when I want it to and get it to go away when I don't want it to. So, honest opinion, I only have, I think 2 gripes about the whole system, which actually isn't terrible. Well, 3. I guess we'll go with 3. I don't like the charging station, the brick, the cigarette lighter. I wasn't a fan of it. They do make a kit that you can go ahead and buy and then hardwire it in, but I thought I could bypass it, couldn't. So that would be probably something that I could do. It's a gripe, but at the end of the day, you can solve it, I guess. They make a kit to fix it. The other thing is the aesthetics of it. It works great. It would work a lot better if I didn't cut that thing off. And the cord, I've got a really long truck. I should have looked into it. The cord wasn't long enough. That's another my fault type of deal, but I don't know. So the other gripes that I have is the aesthetics of it. It actually doesn't do too bad with sitting on top of the mirror as far as tilting down. If I hit a big bump, it will, but for the most part, just cruising around town and driving here, there, and everywhere, you don't really notice it falling down, which is a huge thing. That's one thing that I thought for sure was gonna happen. You put some heavy thing on the end of your mirror and it will definitely want to fall down. Now, it might be that this is kind of a newer truck, that it has a strong enough one where the mirror will actually hold it. I don't know. So take that at your own risk. You might have to jimmy rig something up to help hold it up. That was one thing I was worried about. Not quite as bad as I thought. The other thing is I don't like the front camera. It seems like there could have been a lot better placement of the front camera. It would have been way nicer on the opposite side of the mirror. That way it's not in your field of view, but I can see why they have it right there. But why does it have to slide out? It seems like that could have been a little bit different design. It would be really cool if they made a cup to actually take the mirror off and put that on, an adapter cup of some sort. That would have been a really good idea, because the other gripe that I have, which I don't notice it because it's on the driver's side, but on the passenger side, everybody says it when they get in, is why do you have a mirror on your mirror? And it's very noticeable when you're trying to get in from the passenger side. But I don't really see it, so it doesn't really bug me too much. I do see a little corner on the far side, but it's not anything that I really notice. The mirror's actually pretty decent. It's a lot bigger than the other mirror, and the cameras come through pretty good, except for like when it's really, really bright. So you can kind of see, here's your knockout right there, and then this is more or less what I see when we'll get some light in here. This is more or less what I see when I'm driving. I have a little knockout right there that I can see the old mirror, but everybody getting in the truck sees that. And they always make a comment on how the mirror looks on the other mirror. Honestly, all things aside, for $100, it wasn't a bad system at all. I would actually buy it again and put it on something else if I need to. It's a pretty good system. My wife has, in her Traverse, she has a little one that pops up in the corner, and I'm kind of thinking about changing it over to this one, just because it's nice to have the full view. You can see everything. The whole mirror is a screen, which is really, really nice. So I honestly like this. For $100, it's not that bad of a deal. I really like the mirror camera combo. I think that's something that a lot of cars should get into, because it is very, very useful when you're backing up and you can't quite see below your bumper. A lot of cars have a pretty big bumper and you're not gonna see things until you hit it. So on this truck, I have visibility issues where I don't see much out of the back window, and the boxes stick so far out that you see mostly box when you're looking in the mirrors. So I like it a lot for this. Well, that's gonna do it for me. I'm gonna go enjoy this a little bit more, and I hope you guys enjoy the rest of your day. You take it easy, everyone. Peace. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. If you got one, how do you have yours set up? Do you like the rear view turn on, where it turns on when you put it into reverse, or do you have it off? Let me know. Some comments down below. Thanks guys. Peace.